Good morning, everyone. It's Jen at Ink Paper Rubber. This is a happy day because this is Tailored Expressions release day, and we have so many fun new things to show you. This release was concentrating on Mother's Day, graduation, wedding, anniversary, and baby, but really there are so many things in here that can be used for so many different purposes. One of the reasons that I really like Tailored Expressions products is that they all have multiple uses. So let's just dive right into it because I have a lot of things to show you. First of all, this one is a really genius new release. This is called the Simple Strips background. You can see there are all of these different sentiments on here, but this is actually all one single background stamp. So all of these sentiments are on one stamp. And you can see we have these strange little squares out here on the side, but let me show you what that is for. There is a companion die for this that perfectly cuts out all of those banners. Hey there, Jan. And you can see here these little squares on here. Hey, Linda. Those are so that you can line them up there. Hi to another Jan. That you can line those up with those stamped squares on there so that you get all of those sentiments cut out perfectly into little strips. So what a great way to get lots of little sentiment strips. You don't have to use your scissors or your paper trimmer to try and cut those, and you can stamp once and cut once and you have all these sentiments. So I can certainly see a great thing to do with these is to stamp a bunch of them up and go ahead and die cut them, and then you have sentiments ready to pop onto your card at any time. Okay, next up, I love this fun background plate. This one is called Alphabet Soup. I know, isn't that a great idea? On that stamp and die combo. This one is really fun. You can just see it's an alphabet. It would be great to do a teacher card. Actually, that's another one of the themes of this release is teachers. If you want to make a thank you card for a teacher, this background would be perfect for it. But I can see all kinds of other great things that you can do with this background, and I will show you some samples here in a minute. I mentioned part of this release is kind of wedding and anniversary. This couple here is perfect. This is a die, and you can see we have a couple sitting here together on the park bench. It's a nice silhouette, so lots of different ways that you can use that. There is also a new framed script die that says Mr. and Mrs. I love the font on this. And this one, while you can certainly use it on its own, it is sized to work perfectly with the previously released framed roses cutting plate, which of course you can do in that orientation, or for this die you can do like this. This was one of their most popular ones from, I'm not sure if this was the last release or the one right before it, but it has been very popular. Here you can see some cards we did it. They had previously, they had the hello and the love frame script that fit in there, and now there is a Mr. and Mrs. And there is also a happy. So lots of ways you can use that. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, just lots of ways to use that. Again, you can use it by itself or you can use it with the framed roses. I did go ahead and get a couple of the framed roses die in. I know a lot of you got this, but if you didn't, I got some of those back in again. And I also got in this Bloomers 9 die back in. This one, the roses on here match up with the roses on here, so you can use this to overlay or you can use them separately. I'm going to show you a sample card here in a minute that use that, and I love it, and that's partly why I ordered them again, because I love that one so much. All right, one of the other themes for this release was graduation, and we have some great products for it. This one is one of them, but this one has so many uses to it. This one is called Banner Year, and it is a stamp and die combo. You get all of these banners, and then you also get this one die that cuts out the banner. So what you can do is you can use these background patterns to create a patterned banner and cut it out. You also have the solid banner, and then you have all of these sentiments. You certainly have things for graduates, but you also have you are invited, way to go, celebrate, hats off. So you can use this not only for graduation, but also for birthdays. You are invited. You could do it maybe for a baby shower or a birthday party, just all different kinds of ways that you can use it. And a really good companion to that is this one that is the Banner Years number die. You get the dies that cut out these different letters, their size so that they will fit perfectly on this banner, so you can use them for a graduation card, put the graduate's year that they're graduating. You can use it for a birthday or an anniversary card, and to put on there the age or the number of years they're celebrating for the anniversary. Lots of things you can use that. That's not an expensive set. It's only $10, so lots of things to use those numbers for. Also have this new bubble greeting stamp, which is a graduation one. You can see here it's a good sized one, so that can really be the focal point of your card. It's great if you like to color and color that in. We also got a new bubble greetings for baby. This one is so cute because you get the bubble greeting, but then you also get these 3 little ones that you could stamp the little bear or the heart or the sun on the little baby onesie there if you wanted to. So super cute for that one. Next up is a new sentiment set called Drop a Note. And this one just has a number of different fun sentiments on here. Just a note, sending you a big hug. There's forget well, wishing you a speedy recovery. Thinking of you on your special day, birthday, and happy Mother's Day. So have all kinds of occasions covered with that one. Let me kind of go back to graduation. And these, again, are not things that are specifically graduation, but I think they would make wonderful graduation cards. This one is called Color My World, and you can see you get this large stamp that has kind of this distressed map of the world on it, and then you get a number of different sentiments here. Adventure awaits, you make the world a better place, you mean the world to me, you color my world, hello world. So hello world, perfect for a baby card. Adventure awaits might be great for a graduate. So lots of fun things that you can do with that. And here is another die. This is a background die. It's called World Map Background. And you can see you get the outline of that world map. And yes, this does correspond with that, so you can use them together. They match up in size, so if you want to stamp an outline around that image, you can do it. And then it also has, you can see, just kind of the little speckles. This one is just a single large stamp and has the speckles. So those two can be used together or alone. This is one of my favorite things from this release. It is the Starfall background, and lots of ways you can use this. I like because on one part of it the stars are more dense and then they get more further spaced apart as you go. You can use it on the side, you can use it on the top, on the bottom. I've seen somebody that actually used it and stamped it both ways so that they could cover their entire card. Perfect for graduation, for new babies, for birthdays, for all kinds of celebrations. So lots of ways to use that one. Okay, let's jump back over into, how about wedding? This one doesn't specifically have to be wedding, but I love this one. It is one of my favorites. This one is called Flip the Floral, and the primary image you get is this beautiful floral image. It looks like some roses and greenery that you have here, and it also kind of has this solid line. And so you can use this just like that. I'm going to show you some samples where they've stamped it, and then, as it says, flipped it to put the other side upside down. There's some really great sentiments on here, things for anniversaries and weddings, but you also have Mother's Day, sympathy would make a beautiful sympathy card, and birthday wishes. There is a companion die that goes with this, and this is kind of like their cutting edge stamp and die combos. This one is not a combo, they're sold separately, but you can see if you do use this to cut it out, it only cuts around the top edge, and so you can adjust how big a margin you leave on that. Okay, I got so much I'm kind of trying to figure out where to go next. Let's do this one of my favorite ones. Feathers, feathers, feathers. I always love feathers, and this is a really great set. This is part of their Simply Stamped line, which are stamps that are layering stamps. And you can see with this, you get the solid feather background. You get both a large and a small. You get kind of the more detailed feather there, both a large and a small. You have these two little splatter ones, again, in the two different sizes. You have some individual pieces that you can use in your feathers, and then you have kind of these little arrow ones. And so you can combine these in all different kinds of ways. Taylored Expressions actually has what they call a style sheet on their website that you can download that shows you all the different ways you can combine this to make some really amazing feathers. There is also a die cut that goes with it. The die cuts out both the small and the large feather. And then this stamp set, good for lots of things, even if you don't have that stamp set, but I think it works perfectly with it. Some of the sentiments, there are a couple of feather-related sentiments. Here we have a Emily Dixon quote, "The hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul." I think there's another feather one on here. Yep, feathers appear when angels are near. But then just some kind of uplifting ones. Dare dream, you lift me up. Under his wings you will find refuge, wild and free. She believed she could, so she did. So that set, even on its own, is a really amazing set. There is also a new stencil that works perfectly with this set. It is called Feathered, and you can see that the pattern on this one echoes the patterns of those two stamps on the Feathers stamp set. Alrighty, what's next? How about this one? This one is called Brimming with Love. It is a new floral, but I really like it. Your main image is the jar with the flowers in it, but then you have all these pieces that you can stamp your colors in. So there is a stamp that if you want to stamp water or a color in your jar, you can do it. And then all these pieces, you can see leaves and things to stamp in the flower so that you can instead of having to color in with markers, you can actually stamp in all the different colors for the pieces of that. Really great. And this is a great companion sentiment set. It's their Brimming with Love sentiments, and it has some really good sentiments: Mother's Day, Happy Birthday. And while this is great on its own, these sentiments are specifically designed so that they fit in this portion of the stamp. So they do make a really great companion with each other. All right, in the home stretch, have just a couple more things. First up is another new stencil. This kind of follows along in their folk art line that they have come out with recently. This one is called Birds and Blooms. You see we kind of have the folk art tulips again on here, but also the little birds and some hearts, so that one is really cute. And the last one I think is really genius. This one is the grid background. It is just a large background stamp, and you can use it to make grids, but not only that, it was designed to work with the buffalo plaid background that came out at the end of last year. Namely, these squares match up with that. Here is a sample card that we did with the buffalo plaid background, and you can see those darker solid lines in there. We made those with a marker and a straight edge. Don't have to do that anymore. You can just stamp this stamp right along with that buffalo plaid background and get that great new look. All right, let me show you some samples because the proof is in the pudding, and you know Taylored Expressions always has amazing samples on their website. I encourage you to go out and check it out even more. I'm not going to show you all the samples that they have, obviously. Here is a sample with the alphabet soup cutting plate. You can see how nice that is, just kind of a tone-on-tone background. But you can also do more of a contrast. Here they've made a really great shaker card. They've made this one as a teacher card. Here is the Banner Year. This one actually uses a number of products. It uses the Banner Year stamp and die set. It uses the Banner Year numbers there to make the year. It uses the Starfall background, and then that's one of the strips from the Simply Strips background stamp. Here is another one. You can see where they've used one of the patterned backgrounds to create the banners with the stars in them. And I think... And here's just a cute one. Here they've made a baby card. Again, there they've used the buffalo plaid and the new grid to create that pretty paper up there. It looks like pattern paper, but it was stamped. They've done the different backgrounds for the banners. And then once again, one of the sentiments from the Sentiment Strip stamp set. All right, Birds and Blooms. That is the Birds and Blooms stencil. You can see how pretty that is, done in kind of a, not really ombre, but different shades, transitioning up the card. Here is the Brimming with Love, and you can see here all that color was done with the stamp, so you can make the different parts of it different colors. And then that was one of the sentiments with the Brimming with Love sentiment sets that I said fits in the jar part of that card. Here is the Bubble Greetings Baby. Once again, you can see that fun background was created with the buffalo plaid and the grid background, and then the Welcome Baby Bubble Greetings stamp. And here is one with the Bubble Greetings Grad, and it also uses the You Color My World stamp in the background along with one of the sentiments from that set. There's another example of the You Color My World background. This is from the Drop a Note set, the one that says Just a Note to Say Hello. And I especially like this background. It looks so dimensional. And if you read on her blog, she used the feathered stencil, but she actually stenciled it 3 times with different colors, and she just slightly moved her stencil each time, which is what gives that really great shadow effect to that. And then it also has the little kind of splattered feather overlay from the Simply Stamped feathers on here. She didn't really use it with the feathers, she just did it to give herself a splattered background. So it's a really great way you can use some of your products in different ways. Alright, here is that Flip the Floral set. You can see how pretty this is, white embossed on black and die cut, and that's one of the sentiments from there. I wanted to show you this one because I think this one here is absolutely striking. Here is where they have actually flipped it, stamped it once right side up, and then flipped it upside down and left that space in between to add the sentiment. Really, really pretty. Here you can see an example of the Happy framed script used with the Framed Roses cutting plate. And here is the Mr. and Mrs. And again, you do not have to use it with the framed roses. It looks here, I think what they've done is die cut it and they have backed it with some vellum so that on the against the background where the Mr. and Mrs. is, you don't notice those stripes. They don't really compete with the sentiment. So vellum is always really great for giving just a little bit of definition. But here I wanted to show you this one because this is the one that I said used the bloomers die down there. I just think that is gorgeous, so elegant. Love those white on white roses down there at the bottom. Alright, here again is the grid background, and I just wanted to show you that while you can certainly use it with the buffalo plaid, you don't have to. There they've just used it, stamped it on the diagonal to make that pretty background on the top of that tag there. Here is a pretty anniversary card with the couple from Love Story, and they have also used the banner year numbers, I would imagine, to do those the number of years they've been married on the balloons there. Here is a really interesting example of the simple strips that I wanted to show you. The simple strip stamp has been stamped and probably white embossed on a number of different colors of cardstock and then all die cut, and then she has gone in and just mixed and matched those to create her background. I think that is absolutely stunning. Really, really like that one a lot. Here are some samples with the Simply Stamped feathers, just showing you some of the ways that you can combine them. I really like the muted colors on this one, but you can certainly do them in bright colors if you want to. Here is another example again with some bright colors, and I mentioned that there is a style sheet that you can download, and when you do it, this is what you get. So it shows you different ways that you can combine that stamp to get different looks. Alright, this is the Starfall background, and also we have again using the banner year stamps, and this was the one I mentioned to you where they have stamped it twice so that you get everything covered with the heavier concentration of stars in the middle. I think that one is really nice. Alright, one more sample. This is the world map background, and I told you that the outline fits with that, so here you can see they've stamped the outline around that, but you can also just use the outline on its own as they've done here with that map, and then with the Love Story couple on there as well. So lots of great things. I'll be interested to hear what your favorites are. These are available now. I'm sure they'll go fast, so hopefully you can stop by and check them all out. Hope you all have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.